Hey, hi all. Welcome back to Bearded Knowledge Center. And in today's session, we'll talk about how to create an instance to the class as part of C# code. Okay. So before we get into creating of instance, right, we should have a class, right? So first of all, what is a class? Simply speaking, a class is a user-defined type as part of data types we discussed. So this is kind of a reference type. And again, coming to the reference data type, we have two data types, like, this class basically, right, belongs to, you know, user-defined data type, right? User-defined type in C sharp. So, as we discussed in the earlier session, inside of a reference data type, we have a predefined data type and user-defined data type. So coming to the predefined, string and object are reference types and classes and structures enumerations. These are also a reference type, but these are user-defined reference type. Okay. So class is a user-defined type in C sharp, right? And we are saying string is a date type, right? We are saying string is a data type, but the string data type is created as a class in C sharp. So we are saying, right, string is a data type, but the string, right, data type is created as class in C sharp. It's predefined class, and all predefined classes are user-defined classes in C sharp, right? So it is a predefined class, and all predefined classes are user-defined classes in C sharp are also called data types. So there, as I said in the reference data types, the string is a predefined data type, right? All predefined and user defined are all predefined data types, right? All predefined data types, right? Or all predefined classes, all predefined classes are user defined classes in C sharp, also a reference data types, right? So all predefined is nothing but string and object, right? In this case, string and object. And user-defined classes means, right? Whatever classes and structures we're going to create it are all user-defined data types, right? So class is basically, right, uh, kind of, user-defined type, right? Which user is going to create that. It contains, right, collection of members and methods, right? Class is a user-defined data type in C sharp. So we talk about the kind of inside behavior of class, not the definitions. Definition comes in a way like it is a kind of data structure which contains data members and data methods. That's what the definition we used to say. But coming to the the working behavior of a class, right, instead of the runtime. So this can be treated as a user-defined data type, right? As you like, the string is a predefined data type, right? When you declare a string, it is going to create a class by .NET runtime, right? This is user-defined class. I mean, a predefined class. So in C sharp, all predefined classes and user-defined classes are right. C sharp reference data types. Got it? So the second point that you need to understand that here is we never directly consume a class without creating an instance. Understood? So like you have a class, I have a class EMP, right? And I have a variable, right? Inside of this is x equal to some 10. If you want to access this variable, right? You can't directly consume this class to access the variable, right? By default, that's what I'm saying. Okay. So definitely if you want to consume a class, we need to create a copy of that class, right? So creating copy of that class is known as a right instance. Why we need to create a copy of the class? Why we need to create a copy of the class? because class is a blueprint. I mean, class is a original object, right? Which we don't want to access directly, right? So because looking at this now, right? When we know that it's a data type in C sharp, can we use the int as a data type and can assign a value to class? For example, I'm saying int is also a data type, right? Int is data type, right? And can I assign, right, value like int equal to 100? Why? You are saying int is a type and you can directly assign the value, right? No, you can't assign it because int is only a blueprint for your right particular data. It does not have memory allocation or no memory creation for your data, right? Int is a blueprint of your data or reference of your data. Got it? It doesn't have a mechanism to create a memory or allocate a memory. So certainly you need to have a variable, right? And then that is going to create in the memory, right? If you want to memory allocation for your data, then you should like, right, int I equal to 100, right? So what is I here? So I is a copy of the int data type, right? The same way, the following statement is also invalid, right? String equal to, right, hi. This is also invalid because I'm not going to assign a value to the string because the string is a predefined class, right? And we cannot declare a value to the string without having a variable because it's a blueprint of your string data. And you'd have some variable to store that value. And that way it is initializing the string, right, reference to that variable. Once, as soon as you initialize or as soon as you create an instance, then only memory is going to be allocated. Understood? So the string is a class and class is user defined data type. You cannot consume directly. So if you want to consume a string, then you need to use its syntax in different ways saying that string, right? str caption or str, right? Right, caption str, yes, simply equal to hello or same string hi. Once you assign using a variable, then it is going to create a memory and then store the value. So what is S here? Here S is a copy of the string data type. Here to build a house, right? So to build a house, we need a plan. Understand? So to build a house, we need a plan, right? Can we build a house without a plan? No, not possible. So every house requires a plan. Got it? To build a house, we need a plan. Without having a plan, we cannot build a house. That's not possible, right? And similarly, every house will require a plan for the variable value also, right? Int and strings are nothing but a plan, right? For your house, and I and S are your constructor houses. So to build a house, you will consult with an architect. Got it? The architect is going to give you the plan. Got it? Can you live in the plan or can you live in the plan? No, you can't live in the plan. If you really want to live, then you need to have a house that is constructed based on the plan. Got it? Similarly, when you have a plan here like intensity, you cannot store a value in it as like leaving yourself on in the plan. So you have to construct a house and then you start living there. Similarly, you have to declare a variable of the type, right? And then you have to assign a value. That is what there is example of having it instant. Understood? Okay. So what is instance here? This is something about a class I'm talking about, right? What is the instance? Instance is nothing but a class reference, right? Instance. Instance is nothing but a class reference to an object, right? Of that class. Got it? So we can create an instance of any class in C# using nuclear. Instance is nothing but a class, nothing but a class reference to an object of that class. Okay. So we can create an instance of any class in C# using new keyword. Understood? Here we are just creating, right object or a blueprint of, data to be stored using a plan like here, class or data type, right? So class is, user defined class, and int and string all are, predefined classes, right? Everything is object, as we're talking about in C#. So all comes under, C#. Any data type comes under here, or all objects. So we can't directly, assign a value into int or string, because this is a blueprint of your data. So you have to, construct or, create a variable in the next method. Similarly, for the class, to create a right constructing of house, as like I said, like I and S are constructed houses based on the plan like int and string, right? Similarly, for the class, if we wanted to create, a kind of a house kind of real time example, to live there in the class, you have to create instance. So instance is nothing but a class reference to an object of that class. You can create instance using new keyword, right? Suppose for the above class to create instance, right? Instance one equal to new emp. This is what the syntax. So note that so every class, whether it is predefined or user defined, it is going to be a data type, right? Please make a note, right? Every class, whether it is predefined or user defined, it is going to be, it is going to be, it is going to be a data type, right? To consume the class, what we need to do is we need to create a copy of the class. Until unless we are not creating a copy of the class, the memory will not be allocated. Understood? So to get interact, right, or consume the class, we need to create instance. Until, right, and unless we are not creating, right, until unless we are not creating instance, I mean, or a copy, right, of that class, the memory will not allocated. Only when you create instance, then only it is going to create a memory. If you want the memory to be allocated, then you need to create a copy of the type, either it is class or any predefined data type. Okay, so to get demonstrate more on this consuming of class, so I have a class, right? Example, right? I'm just making this language to C# to get the C# syntax, right? This is my class. Inside of my class, I have int x equal to 10, right? And I have a static void main, right? String args, and here, right? What I'm trying to is I'm going to, print the value, right line of x. Got it? So when I say this way, right? So definitely what it will happen is you'll be getting compilation error because sorry, you will not get any problem because this is going to be directly accessed, right? Because the variable was now given on top of main method and instead of example class. If you try to run the above code, you will get the following error. We are getting the error when we try to print the value of x. This is because x is an instance member of right class, you can say non-static member, and you cannot access any non-static member directly from a static block. And here the main method is static. That's what the problem. So this is the static method, right? You cannot access non-static members, right? And it is going to throw you the example. Let's take this example and see what is happening in console. Okay, so looking at here, I'm going to remove this, right? I'll just say example, got it? And we'll just declare a variable. Okay, and then I'm going to remove this stuff, which actually I have already defined. When I look at here, it is closed and it is closed. What is happening? And to give one more. Looking at here, it is going to tell you, right? This is a non-static field, right? You are in the static field and you cannot access this method or property, right? That's what the error you are having it. So to resolve this, what we have to do is, right? We have to create instance example e1 equal to new example, and you have to say that e1 dot ex, right? So here e is the instance of a class. Here e1 is the instance of a class. This is the member of an example class. Understood? So without creating instance, we cannot directly consume class members. Understood? Okay. So this is the difference between the class, right, and the instance, right? Looking at this class as a is the defined kind of type, and the predefined data types like int and string are predefined classes, right? So we can't directly store a value or we can't directly consume a class without having instance. As like for predefined data types, we are going to create, the variables. Those are going to, right, take a reference of the versional data types, right? I hope you understood, right, the class and the instance purpose of creating to the class to access members inside of class. Okay. Thanks for listening to this video and please subscribe the channel for more videos. Thank you.